Hello everybody, my name is b.e.t.a and welcome to this little cast, this little intimate discussion between the cooties and myself. This is a video mainly meant for people that follow my channel, but if you are stopping by here for the first time, I'm just gonna say straight up, I'm a huge fan of Fallout 4. I've played several thousand hours of it, and I've played several thousand hours of Skyrim as well. You know, big fan of these open world Bethesda games, and this is just going to be my opinion, my reaction to the gameplay videos released by several YouTubers that got to play this game early so far. Obviously, I want to make a handful of disclaimers before I get into this. Yes, the game is going to be released in over a month, so we don't know exactly what it's going to look like yet. And yes, this is going to be an opinionated video. It may even have a little bit of negativity in it. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm riding the hype train, so if you're looking for a video that's going to make you feel even more amped about this game, this may not be the one for you, and you might want to move on. But for those of you that do just kind of want to hear my perspective on it and just hear another opinion on this game, this is definitely going to be a critical and particular opinion, I think. So basically, what I realized when I watched, you know, several hours of gameplay released by YouTubers about this game is that it is essentially Fallout 4 DLC, but the essential NPCs and the story elements and the unique location elements and quest lines, they're kind of stripped away, and you can play with your friends, and it's $60. So that's basically what I would say this game is. Now, as a person who has played, you know, many hours of Fallout 4 and continues to play it occasionally, I would say that this does not ruin my life. You know, I'm not so upset about that. It's just mainly the same game. I would say it's a better case than if it really kind of regressed from what it was strong at, what the strength of this series was. If it really regressed away from that, I would be very disappointed. I don't think it necessarily has done that completely. However, I'm not particularly excited for it, and I'll tell you exactly why I'm not excited for it. Frankly, this really seems like they wanted to include multiplayer in Fallout 4, and they just couldn't find a way to make it work. They didn't have the time, they didn't have the resources, whatever. And they're kind of like releasing this piece of gameplay several years later with very little change, it seems like. Again, haven't played it, but seeing the gameplay, you know, understanding what Fallout 4 is about, it really doesn't seem like they've changed very much at all. They've added some new enemies, a handful of new weapons, not a lot, and it's technically a new map, but a lot of the assets are the same, and the core gameplay elements seem very similar. And overall, it really doesn't seem like it's an evolution of the Fallout franchise, or just Bethesda open world games in general. It's more of a deviation. So it's not really offering anything exciting and new to me. The only thing that I would say that it offers is the fact that it's multiplayer, and that it's kind of, that's where it ends. Normally, when you release a new game title, you make improvements. You really change things to make them better. You add new elements. It really doesn't seem like that took place here. It really doesn't. Now, of course, if you really love Fallout 4 and you just wanted to play with your friends, more than anything, you wanted to play Fallout 4 with your friends, this game is going to rock your world. It's going to be the best game that comes out for you this year, probably, because that's exactly what it is. If you just wanted to play Fallout, but with your friends, this is a great game for you, you know, and I'm sure you'll be happy with it. For people like me who really enjoy more of the single-player aspect and the innovations, frankly, that Bethesda's capable of making in this particular genre, it's kind of just the same thing, except more expensive with other people there. I am not excited, really. I think I'm kind of looking forward to it, though I wouldn't say I'm excited, because I don't think that there's anything I haven't really experienced except for the fact that other people are there, which is not something that I necessarily wanted in the first place. So, I'll play it, and I'll probably enjoy it, and I'm sure that I'll have a good time playing it for however long I choose to play it, but it's not really exciting to me. It's not like really a new game so much. Just to give a contrast, a game that I'm very excited for is Red Dead Redemption 2, because it seems like what Red Dead Redemption 2 is it's trying to build on gameplay elements that are already established in the open world action-y kind of genre and kind of innovate, kind of change things, add new features, and improve upon the formula. That to me is very exciting. I don't believe, in my opinion, that just adding other people is a method of doing that. You know, just putting other people in the world and stripping away elements, I don't think makes the Fallout franchise better, to me, as a person who likes the single player elements of the game. To me, I understand that there are people that have wanted Fallout 4 to be multiplayer for ages, and I understand that this is probably the best thing that's ever happened to you. You guys are just absolutely hyped as shit, and I say, you know, great. I'm glad that you got the game you wanted. That's awesome. I just think that for a lot of people, this probably isn't going to do it for them quite as much as maybe people hoped it would. I think maybe if people didn't really play Fallout 4, they might end up really, really liking Fallout 76 if they like multiplayer games. That, I think, is an entirely possible scenario. I also think that if somebody played Fallout 4 and they're more like a casual person that plays games, they maybe played it for like 8 to 20 hours, which is normally the amount that most people end up playing most games, then they probably won't feel like it offers anything too different or new for them. If they got their share, their 20 hours worth of Fallout 4, I don't know that 76 is going to be like making them feel like it's worth $60 to pay for. On the other hand, if that same person doesn't remember much about Fallout 4 when they played it, they may experience it all again in a totally new way, and then they'll be like, wow, there are other people there. Isn't that neat? Some of the things, though, to kind of move away from the conversation of what it is and really what you're getting, in my opinion, Fallout 4, with less stuff happening in it, basically a DLC stripped down with other people there for $60 several years later. To kind of move away from my opinion on that, I think that it seems like to me that based on seeing the gameplay videos that I've seen, it seems kind of barren. It seems like the quests are pretty much pretty limited, you know? Pretty much, you know, go here, fetch this, you know, not a lot of interesting locations, in my opinion. You know, some of the monsters look kind of interesting, but a lot of the locations look really, really, really similar to Fallout 4. And the game, although a month away from release, is stuttering like crazy, which makes me nervous. Now, of course, this is a beta still, so it's unfair to be too critical about a game that stutters during its beta. That's a thing about betas, you know, you're still working out the bugs. But nevertheless, I mean, it still kind of scares me a little bit that there are such severe stutters that I'm seeing on the regular. I mean, there are other bugs, too. The combat seemed like it was almost more janky, like the physics had been taken away a little bit, and that the reactions of the monsters seemed to be almost delayed, and some of the animations just kind of got janked up. And I saw, you know, in a couple videos, there was a little bit of bugginess, a little bit of visual bugginess. Nothing too horrible, maybe gonna be fixed, but it does make me kind of like nervous about the release of the game. Though, again, it's a beta. We'll see what happens. Another thing about the game is that it doesn't, yeah, it's kind of barren. It doesn't seem like there's a lot going on in it. I feel like it's probably going to get boring pretty quickly unless you like the PvP element, which luckily they actually do have a toggle that I saw in one of the gameplay videos. You can turn off and on a pacifist mode, meaning that when you attack another player, they have to attack you back before you can do any real damage to them if you're in the pacifist mode. I don't know what the other mode is called, but it's a PvP mode, so basically it means that you can be ambushed. And I actually think that that's a pretty decent workaround. Like, it gives people the opportunity to actually enjoy the world if they want to, and they don't really find the PvP element so appealing to them. But it also gives people that want that in their game more of an opportunity for it. And I think that that potentially could really make the game a little bit more tolerable for those of us that were worried about things like griefing or just wanted to take the experience of the game without the PvP elements. Now, I kind of think that after seeing a lot of this gameplay, that it would probably be kind of boring without the PvP elements. I mean, I just, there's not a lot in the way of quests. The locations themselves don't seem too interesting or different. A lot of the assets are reused. I mean, it just doesn't seem like a game that is full of a lot of content. Now, that, again, could change because there's still time, and they could even change it after launch. It's hard to say exactly what's going to happen with the game, but it does seem as though if you don't play with PvP, you're probably going to be missing out on a lot. So, all in all, my impressions of this is they clearly need to work through some bugs, but I don't necessarily count them out for it yet, although I'm a little bit nervous. And I would say that I'm not excited for this game, but I'm not dreading the fact that they wasted their time on it necessarily. Like, I think I'm going to enjoy playing Fallout 4, but more of it, and then maybe there will be something interesting to come up with having other people there. And that's overall my opinion. I truly wish that they had spent their time and energy on resources, etc., just speeding up the development of the Elder Scrolls instead of trying to include a piece of Fallout 4 that didn't really even need to be there, in my opinion. On the other hand, I do know that there are a lot of people out there that desperately wanted to play Fallout 4 with their friends, and for those people, I'm sure this is going to be the best dang thing ever for them. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think when it comes to games, there are absolutely objective elements to critiquing them. You know, if a game doesn't even run, I mean, that's a problem. That is not worth your money. But at the same time, there are ways in which games can be, you know, preference-based. I would consider myself very heavily preference-based in my, you know, appeal of games, like the things that I find appealing in games. For instance, I'm very excited for Red Dead Redemption 2 because it's exactly the genre of game that I love, and it's trying to innovate it, and I really appreciate that, and that's the stuff that gets me really excited. On the other hand, something like Fallout 76 doesn't exactly innovate as much as it just is kind of like just a variant on something that already exists, you know, almost like adding a piece that was missing before. Or maybe not that many people missed in the first place that loved Fallout 4. Though, there's clearly a huge amount of people that really want to play Fallout 4 online, and hopefully they get what they want. And hopefully I can enjoy it too. We'll see. It doesn't look like a disaster necessarily or anything like that. I'm just saying, it's not blowing me away. It's not getting me excited because I don't feel like there's anything there that's really gonna get, like, really gonna change the way that I view these games so much, if that makes any sense. But I do think I'll have fun. I mean, I always have fun when I stream games almost all the time, whether or not they're good or bad. And on that note, if you do want to play Fallout 76 with me, whenever we're able to group up with each other, I mean, please feel free to go over to my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/b.e.t.a, and I'm really excited to play with some of the people that follow the channel and enjoy the content and everything like that. I mean, I'll also be giving my opinions on the beta when it comes and the release of the game and what I feel about it kind of as it goes. And yeah, I look forward to seeing all of you guys in game if you choose to join the Cootie Squad and take over the Commonwealth. Or I guess it's not the Commonwealth, right? It's West Virginia. Yeah. I mean, it's basically the Commonwealth, though. It's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, okay? That's all I'm saying. It's the same game. That's all I'm saying. I don't mean to be dramatic or anything, but it's exactly the same. No, I mean, it's basically the same. Yeah, so, I mean, to sum up, basically, my opinion about this, it looks really, really similar to Fallout 4, and that's both a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing in the sense that there's not going to be some kind of horrible disaster associated with this game, I'm convinced, unless they really fuck up the multiplayer servers or something like that. It's just the same. And on the bad side, it does not seem like it's innovating too much. It seems like we're just gonna get more Fallout 4 and with other people there. And that, I guess I can be happy about when it comes. You know, I like Fallout 4, so that's okay. Though I will say that I wouldn't necessarily recommend pre-ordering this game until you know that it's gonna run well, until you know what you're getting into, in general. I'm gonna pre-order it just because I'm a YouTuber and a Twitch streamer. So there you go. That's my opinion. A very casual video. This is the CooCast, baby. This is called I Have Classes. I have exams. I don't goddamn have time to edit a fancy video for you. I apologize, but I appreciate you being here anyway. Hope you enjoyed. If you have a different opinion than me, it's cool, man. No problemos. I hope you enjoy the fuck out of this game if this is what you always want. And for those of you that do agree with me, cool too. Thanks, I guess. Alright, I'll see you next time. Please have a lovely rest of your whatever the fuck you're doing. Okay, bye!